Welcome to the channel, guys. We are back again, and today I'm going to be talking about what I wore for last week, Vetiver week. So stay tuned for that. If you like the content, guys, hit that like and subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. So last week was Vetiver week, and so I wore a fragrance that had a note of vetiver in it. Now, a lot of fragrances actually have vetiver in it. For the most part, I did try and pick fragrances where it's the main player or a very strong note in the fragrance, although there are a few exceptions where, to me, there are other notes that are definitely stronger, but the vetiver is pretty prominent nonetheless. So I started off the week with one of my favorite fragrances and the last of my decant of Elysium by Roja Dove. This is the Parfum Cologne version, and I really enjoy this one aside from its lack of performance on my skin. But it just has this beautiful, fresh opening, very citric, lemony. I get a little bit of bergamot in there. And it has a nice, fresh vetiver note as well. So it comes across very fresh, very mass appealing. It's very easy to wear. There's something about this that is a little bit classy. It definitely makes me think of the future, like future designs where you have all these crazy metallic kind of buildings and high technology. This gives off that vibe for whatever reason, but it is a really enjoyable one, and I probably won't pick up a full bottle of this, mostly because of the performance. I don't get very good performance, and for the price point, that's something I'm definitely looking for. But I might pick up one of the inspirations that does perform better on my skin, whether that be Zion by Alexandria or Utopia by Genre. I haven't decided yet, but we will definitely see in the future. Next on the list is one of my favorites from the genre, and that is Voodoo by Genre Parfums. And this is one of their original fragrances. And to me, this is basically grapefruit, bitter grapefruit, and vetiver. I have talked about this one quite a bit. It is my favorite of the originals, although with the release of the 3 new originals, this might actually not be my favorite anymore. I really enjoy Apples to Aces, and I really like Essence. But nonetheless, this is a great one, especially for the season. It has a really nice bitter grapefruit note that's quite prominent throughout the first few hours of this fragrance, and it comes down to a nice woody base that is provided by that vetiver. It's a very enjoyable fragrance, very easy to wear, and one that I am glad I have. Next on the list is Encre Noir Sport. If you want a really good quality vetiver fragrance that actually does have some niche appeal to it, Encre Noir is a great line to be looking at. This line has the original, the sport version, and also à l'extrême. I actually think I like à l'extrême the best, but this is the easiest to wear and one you can also wear in the summer. It does start off with a bit of a dark inkiness, definitely has a bit of a moody feel to it. And that transitions into almost a watery kind of long grass kind of a feel, which then transitions into a nice soapy base. The vetiver in this is very nice, and it is fairly unique for something that you would wear in the summer anyways, although there are a lot of vetiver fragrances, and this is not super unique in that regards, but it is definitely an enjoyable fragrance. One I think is great, and you can get this one online for like $20. So if you like vetiver, this is one you should check out. Next on the list is Vetiver Parfum Cologne. This is a new release from Roja, and it's the Parfum Cologne concentration of the vetiver fragrance. And it is really well done for a very straightforward vetiver fragrance. I get a lot of like lemon in the opening, and there's a little bit of a freshness there in the opening that also does kind of remind me a little bit of Elysium, but it honestly smells nothing like it. The first couple of times I wore this, I definitely got this vibe that reminded me of Elysium because it also has a fairly strong vetiver note on my skin, but this one is quite different. And in fact, I find even in the opening, there's a little bit of smokiness there in the vetiver that then transitions into a nice, clean vetiver fragrance. And quite honestly, if you want to wear something simple, straightforward, but something that gets to the point, no nonsense, nice fragrance, this is one you should check out. Next on the list is Vetiver Extreme by Guerlain. This is another very inexpensive vetiver fragrance that is vetiver amped up to the max. I find this one has a bit of a sour note right in the beginning, but this definitely transitions into a more earthy vetiver. and it is a very prominent vetiver fragrance. So this one definitely carries a very, very strong vetiver, and it has a very earthy quality to it, which is really quite enjoyable. And I actually do like this one quite a bit. If you like vetiver or you want to try it out, you want something inexpensive, definitely check out Vetiver Extreme by Guerlain. No Vetiver week would be complete without Terre de Hermes, and this is my favorite one from the line, which is the Eau Très Fresh. I'm actually not a huge fan of this line. Something about the peppery vetiver that doesn't sit well with me. I don't dislike it, but I don't like it enough that I would buy a bottle of it. But this one I actually really, really enjoy. It has bitter orange peel, that zesty orange peel, amped up to the max, and then vetiver is taking a little bit of a back seat in this one. It definitely is present there, providing a nice woody base. This is actually one that usually I will take with me, and I'll wear a spray of it when I go on the airplane just so I smell very fresh. But this is really an enjoyable one. Great for the summer. I actually just purchased a bottle of this finally, so I have one on the way. And I do really like this one. My definite favorite from the line, and without question, the best one in my opinion. And finally, rounding out this list in good fashion is Sultan Vetiver by Ishani. This one is a beautiful combination of a plethora of different kinds of vetiver. And it does have a nice, interesting citrus in the opening, but that citrus to me is not particularly bright. I find it's a lot more overpowered by the vetiver, making it a lot darker, and it actually does add an interesting dimension, having that contrast there. This one is vetiver through and through. From the very beginning to the very end, you are getting vetiver as the star note, as the main player. And so if you're a huge fan of vetiver, would recommend sampling this one. I'm not going to talk about it too much because I'm going to be doing a full review on this one in the next few weeks, but this is an excellent release from Ishani. So guys, that's what I wore for Vetiver Week. What's your favorite vetiver fragrance? Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.